Welcome to another episode of Food with Trudy. I'm your host, Trudy. I'm here today with almost a full cast. I have Dami, I have Skip, I have Adosa, and I have Aminu. Today we're here to talk about and hopefully talk about and not debate too much about the value of a trophy. What is a trophy worth? Is it worth everything? Is it worth the club's future? Is it worth sacrificing, doing everything you can to win a trophy within the first 2 to 3 years of a season and forgetting about the rest? Or playing well and playing well long term, hoping that you get a trophy? And that's what we're going to talk about. We're going to start with Dami since his team recently won a trophy. Could you tell us what a trophy is worth? You're muted. There you go.
A trophy is worth waiting 22 years to see your team lifted up. As in with
okay, go on.
I waited since '98 to watch Liverpool win Premier League. Mm-hmm. So that's what it's worth to me. No, I think for certain trophies it's worth what's the word called? It's worth hedging the future a little to go for it, because in the world of sports, next season is never guaranteed. Like one injury, one mishap here or there, and the table has turned for the team. So yeah, I think it's worth going for a league title. I mean, go for Champions League. I think it's worth hedging the near future for an immediate chance of winning.
What about the lower cups, the minor cups, the Carabaos, the FA cups?
The minor cups, I mean, they are good for morale and whatnot, but if the Carabao Cup is all that Liverpool end up winning this season, I must still be vexed. let's put it that way. So, like the Premier League or Champions League is by far the objective.
But you're coming from the place of where your team won trophies last season.
Yeah.
And you're in prime position. You're playing well enough and you're in prime position to win more trophies. If they don't win any more trophies this season due to injuries, is that really worth being angry about?
There will not be anybody to direct the anger at, but there will still be disappointments in a disappointing season. we will chop it up to the injury, sure, but it still has to be disappointing. We can't celebrate that despite injuries we finished second or finished in the semi-final or whatever.
As a Liverpool fan, what do you think that, given your injuries, what do you think you should focus on more with the cups left? Because personally, I think you should focus on Europa. Get a European trophy. I don't think you're gonna get the Premier League with all these injuries. I don't think you're gonna get the Premier League.
We can drop FA Cup, but in going for Europa, we're gonna be going for the Premier League anyways, because we can't just save the form for Europa League. And we have to still make sure that we're guaranteed Champions League for next season. So
if you win Europa, you enter Champions League now.
At this point, oh yeah, true.
Yeah,
even if you finish outside the top four.
Yeah.
Okay, but
unless with this new format that has changed. Before that was the case. No matter where you were, if you win the Champions League, if you win Europa, you go to Champions League.
I would say at this stage in the season, might as well just go for it. Got to go all out for club. It'd be a more magical story if Conor Bradley is the one leading the title charge towards the end of the season.
Out of nowhere.
Yeah, But no, I say at this point, just go for it. Like, there's nothing to lose anymore at this point. The worst is we'll blame the terrible season on injuries, and the best that can happen is that it'll be a crazy story. Like, nobody can say nothing for a long time.
Blame the terrible season due to injuries. I like that. This I should send that to Ten Hag. Skip. What is a trophy worth?
It's like two things. We need to separate the club and also the trophy we're talking about. Because some clubs look at West Ham before they won the Europa last year, or the conference, whatever it's called, before they won that.
Yeah.
They are not going to have that feeling again for the next probably 20 years. So if they can go all out once season have that, then not relegate. Like nothing worth relegation. Let's just make that clear.
True, 100%.
But if you can go out that season, go all out, win that particular thing, then sell like your best 5 players and start rebuilding and be like a distinct team for like another 20 years. Then win one gold. Like that's good. But for any top club, when it has to be part of the end of the season like narrative. if Poch have won that Carling Cup, it would be like, oh, it's a decent season. He will start telling himself it's a decent season, even though it wasn't a decent season. Like, that's how much a trophy can make you change the narrative as a big team. Like, oh, even look at United coach Enad. Some horrible things last season, but because he won the trophy, everything kind of got swept under the rug. And everybody like, oh, he can go again. Now, it's looking like no trophy and just exactly what last season is. And
relax.
And everybody, I'm just saying, it's looking like no trophy and something similar to last season. And now everybody is like, oh, can I get this out? So that's what the trophy can do. But in the big sense of things, like if you look at the Chelsea, which is like this thing, then the United, where they are, winning any type of trophy will do for them. Even Charity Shield, that usually picks up before. But if you look at the Arsenal and the City now and the Liverpool, Premier League or Champions League, that's what we're talking about. And then maybe FA Cup, because even like if you're like those three teams are like top, if you are not winning Premier League or Champions League, and FA Cup is like a part, okay, you know what, we'll give you that. But those two Premier League and Champions League, you need to be winning those in order to be like, oh yeah, we've had a good season. Because if any of those three teams go end of the season, no trophy, none of those three trophies, then you have to start thinking that
was it worth it? And that's what I was gonna ask you. Let's put a hypothetical situation now. Chelsea wins the Carabao Cup. Arsenal comes second and trophyless. Who had a better season?
Yes, personally, because I've been saying it this like a month or two season that I believe Arsenal will still have a better season. But a lot of people will still make that argument that I believe Arsenal will have a better season, even if they come second down Chelsea. But a lot of branded people will still try and make an argument that Chelsea have a better season. Do you know what I would consider a good season right now under Poch? Going to win FA Cup and making top four, which is impossible. That's what I would consider a good season.
Before I go to Amino and Edosa, let me speak on behalf of the brain dead people now. Realistically, if you're arguing it realistically, right? We want Chelsea wins a trophy, Arsenal comes second. So what does second do? Give you Champions League, right?
Yes.
Next season they don't win Champions League. Are you really saying that it was worth it?
Because yes, it's worth it. Because first of all, let's look at the two parts of it. Coming second, that means your team must have really impressed in the Premier League.
But they didn't win anything.
Wait, no, wait. They must have impressed. The financial side of coming second is better than the 1 million price of Harry.
That doesn't help the fans, though. What does the financial thing help fans for?
Wait. Are you telling me when to winning Community Shield because they are at the same level is something you should be like, yes, we won? Are you telling me Community? Because if they are saying Carling Cup is, oh yes, we won something, that means Community Shield, the manager should be putting it on their resume going forward.
I don't. First of all, people like Mourinho do put it on their resume, but I don't put. Community Shield is the lowest to me. FA Cup and Carling Cup are like on bar, then the rest. That's
no. Please, that's disrespectful to FA Cup.
What's the difference? FA Cup just has history. He has the history.
He has more financial benefit. The competition is even more.
Financial benefits do the fans get any money? What's this financial? We don't.
But yes, okay. You guys keep talking about the fans, but now the other side, you people will be talking about financial fair play and all of that, getting points. Is part of it. Fans need to care about the financial part now. So all these fans don't care about. You need to, because when they remove 50 points from your team, you will get that.
I've never heard. I don't know whether you guys have. I've never heard a price differential for getting a player is because this team won FA Cup. That's the money we won for FA Cup. We used to get this player. I've never, ever heard that. I don't know if you guys have.
Go talk to. Was it
like what are you guys talking about, man?
No. Go look. Is it Portsmouth or which team won the FA Cup that year? Was it
the one? Yeah, Portsmouth got relegated.
Or both teams.
Or is it Wigan?
I can't remember the team. Go look at their books and you will see what difference that made. Yeah, go look at their books and you'll see what difference that made for them. So what they talking about?
But that's a small. Come on, man.
See,
Come on.
you're talking about that as a small amount.
No, like
But
a small team. A small team. If a team like Chelsea or Man U win the Carabao Cup, it's not going to make a dent to their transfer window. Is what I'm trying to say. A team like that. I've never heard a team
no,
say,
no, no. It's
"Well, if
not
we
going
didn't
to
win this
make
carrying cup, we wouldn't have
again.
been able to afford this player."
It's not going to wait. It's not going to make a dent when you're talking about going to go drop 100 million on Anthony, dropping whatever another amount they drop on Modric, or dropping another 80 on Pepe. It won't make any amount. But like when you are signing like the 30 million deal, this thing, and you spread it over, it makes a difference. So any money coming in does make a difference. Why do you think the hospitality in the stadium, everything is increasing the hospitality? Those people that basically they are inside, why are they increasing that if it doesn't make a difference? Every money coming in does make a difference. That's just the fact of it. And as a fan, you need to be responsible and actually be thinking of the financial part of your team. So all this, I don't care, let's just go win. Keep lying to yourself. When 50 points come, you will care at that time. So, yeah.
I'm like, oh, what happened? Stop it, man. You're like, oh, wait, FA Cup could have saved us from. Aminu. Let's get Aminu in this. What are your thoughts?
Well, I do like some of the points that Skip made, and I always say context matters. Like, you know, the way big teams appreciate certain trophies will be different from the way smaller teams would, and it also depends on their situation as well. If a team hasn't won a trophy, you know, in a very long time, it doesn't matter if they're big and small, any trophy will do. But if it's a team that has won trophies in their recent history, then you know some of the
Sorry to interrupt. Can you clarify what you mean by recent history? Like 3 to 5 years, or 2?
I'll say maybe like 2 to 3 years. They've won like the Premier League within like the last 2 to 3 years. Then you know they wouldn't care so much about winning like an FA Cup unless they haven't won it in 20 years too. But something like the Carabao Cup, I think you know winning that cup now is not even enough to pay Van Dijk's weekly salary. So.
That's what I'm saying. That's what I'm saying, man.
I understand the fact that there's not necessarily a financial benefit to all the trophies. Right now, the biggest trophies are still the Premier League and then
Champions League.
Everything else, you know, like the financial incentive isn't really there. I think Europa is okay, but like FA Cup and Carabao, like the financial boost you get from that isn't that great. Having said that, going back to your analogy about teams coming second versus winning, you know, a trophy, it depends on the trophy and it depends on the context, right? If Chelsea were to win the Carabao Cup and Man U were to come second like Ole did or Mourinho did, then I would say Chelsea had a better season. But if we look at the overall story for the season of the team, if a team like Arsenal comes second, you know that they were deep into a title race for most of the season. And that experience to me is worth more than the Carabao Cup. You guys have been mistakenly calling it Carling Cup by its old name. And there's a reason they had to rebrand. Like it was the Mickey Mouse Cup. Like nobody cared. That's how bad it was, and then they had to rebrand it. So, you know, the context of the season matters. The context of the team matters, and to me, that's where you kind of decide like what the trophy is worth to that team. If a team like Chelsea is doing absolutely terribly, and their only hope is to win the Carabao Cup, then obviously that trophy will mean more than Arsenal winning the Carabao Cup, which they've already done in the past. And I also agree with what Skip said. Like even though the smaller trophies do not have the same financial rewards as the bigger financial weight and reward as the bigger trophies, like at the end of the day, you know, even though it's entertainment and fans, we're here for the entertainment. These teams are still businesses, and they still need to be run like businesses, and they still need to meet financial obligations, not just in terms of the future of the team, but I'm talking about current financial obligations of paying their own players and managing the team in general. So we definitely need to keep that in mind when we're talking about the bigger trophies and what those are worth versus like the smaller trophies, which don't really give you any financial boost. So for me, like at the end of the day, I think context matters. Klopp substituted virtually his whole first team in the final. If he had lost that final, nobody's going to turn around and say, wow, Klopp, you're a disgrace. He wouldn't have gotten slated at all because his eyes are on a bigger price, and his team are also in a better position to look beyond the smaller trophies. So from Liverpool's perspective, it's not, conjecture or guesswork. Klopp showed by his actions that he didn't care that much to win the Carabao Cup. Like he was more interested in being healthy and gunning for the Premier League and possibly Europa League as well. So in that context, you can see how different teams see different trophies and what it means to them. And on that note, I don't know why Poch didn't do a lot more to win that trophy, but again, context matters.
So basically, you're saying the answer to the question changes depending on who you're asking. Because as a fan,
depends on who you're asking and what their season looks like already. So Chelsea's season, even though they're a big team historically, it's different from Arsenal's team and Liverpool's season right now. So it definitely changes depending on who you're asking. If you're asking like Luton or Sheffield, then of course that trophy is going to mean a lot more. They can hold it on their way down to
championship.
To the championship. So it definitely matters.
I wanted to ask a question, but I feel like maybe just to get Edosa in, Edosa should answer the question now because now I'm thinking from a player, realistically, honestly, from a fan's point of view, I feel like William, I feel like Skip, and I mean, you guys are looking at the worst case scenario. Not everybody's Man City. Not everybody's going to get points deduction. Realistically, because we don't have a say on what they do with the money, the financial implications should be the lowest thing to us, right? We're trying to enjoy football and we're trying to banter. My team going trophyless for 5 seasons and coming second and third versus them winning one FA Cup and one Carabao Cup within those 5 seasons. I'd rather have them have the 2 trophies because they're coming second and third. They're going into the Champions League and getting more money, but they're not winning the Champions League. We have to remember that. And that's why when we were discussing this, I brought the context to compare Man U versus Newcastle. Right? Newcastle played way better than us. Did they finish above us? They almost finished above us. We won a trophy. We played nonsense. This season, look what's happening. We're both in the Champions League. Disgraced, we're out of the Champions League. Now we're both. So you know what I mean? Like, nobody's going to remember all these things unless you have that silverware.
So third is a little bit of a stretch, but again, context matters. There's finishing second, like Liverpool did, 1 point behind City. Like they could have easily won that title. And then there's finishing second, like Ole and Mourinho and all these other nonsense people.
Ole finished against the Centurions. Respect.
Whatever. But my point is, those guys were closer to relegation than they were to the title. Like those kinds of situations of finishing second to me is not the same story of the season as a team that is actually challenging for the title and in contention and going all the way, maybe to the last month or even the last week of the Premier League. And I feel like the story of that season, the way you experience that season would be a lot different if you were, Chelsea 12th and you win the Carabao Cup versus Arsenal if they don't win the league and they come within 5 points of City. Those stories are very different in my eye, at least.
It is so.
So I think it reminds me of the All or Nothing documentary, and Ateta asking his boys a question: what's more important, the journey or the destination? So your answer to that question kind of gives you your answer to this question you're asking. So personally, trophies are nice, but I've seen Arsenal win stuff, and I knew that we're going to do rubbish the next season. The next game, right?
This game.
and it wasn't even, so it made it hard to enjoy what I was saying. But now we might not win anything this season, but I know next season we're going to be just as good, because process actually matters. If you have a very good team that's playing well season to season to season, eventually you will catch up, and that's what happened to Liverpool. They were bad, then they started getting better, and at some point they caught up, despite the fact that the trophies weren't coming yet. And that even when they had half their team out injured, they were still playing well enough that United and their fluky 1-0 win could not catch up with them. And that's why process matters, and that's why I still don't understand this your whole Ten Hag wins when he, like, it doesn't make any sense, because anybody can win a final.
Okay.
Anybody can win a knockout game. Anybody can win a knockout game. Literally. City lose games every season to teams that they are way better than. Because in a one-off game, anything can happen. So I'm not really sure why everybody keeps on pushing the agenda of like, oh yeah, so you won. There are trophies that if you win, obviously, they imply that you're the best team in the league. Premier League title. But we've seen Mourinho fluke his way to a Champions League with Porto.
I mean, fluke is didn't fluke it, man. The guy was beating people, man.
It wasn't the best team that year in the Champions League.
Yeah, the best team doesn't always win. City was the best team for years and they didn't win.
And that's my point. But you knew it was coming.
But the best team doesn't win the league also. The best team doesn't win
you cannot play 38 games and tell me the best team did not win the league. It's not possible.
You can.
It's not possible.
If injuries do you.
If you have injuries, whatever was playing, if they are not the best team, they're not winning the league. But whoever is left, if they're not your best team, they're not winning the league. The best team is the team that for 38 games could put up a team that was able to win the most points over the course of the season.
But in Champions League, they play like how many games? They're like 15 plus
7.
games.
7.
No, they play
7. Are you
serious?
They play 6.
Oh yeah. It's 7. 7 of the. But
6 group stage.
More or less.
Yeah. So
like 9
sorry, it's been a while the
like
Champions
15
League.
games or 14.
So you really need to be
sure 14, but like, you think about it.
You play competitive.
No, but if you think about it, if you are a city, if you're a top 4 in England or top 5 in England, and a top 4 in Germany, and a top 3 in Spain, and the top 3 in Italy, everybody are playing is people that you can actually play with, like your second team on some level. Yes.
It's only the top 2 in Premier League history that have been able to every season. Go look at it. It's only the top 2 teams in Premier League that have been able to play the best in Madrid and best in Spain.
I'm not talking. I'm saying that if you compare who is in your group, in the beginning, there's only 2 teams or 1 team that actually worth your wahala. The other ones are people you can beat.
If you look at it in Premier League also, apart from the top 5, let's say top 4, top 5 teams, the rest of them, any team that is winning the league should be going and be beating those teams.
But
he's talking about the second team.
But they don't. You have to show up with your best team every single time.
That's the beautiful thing about sport. If you go to Champions League and you don't show up with your best team, you'll be surprised how young boys.
The boys beat.
No, they beat who they beat.
I think young boys beat us, but Sheriff beat Real Madrid too.
Was saying the same thing though. Like, if you look at Man U, even if they win a Champions League, the way they play, they win a Champions League. Yes, you get to shout to win a Champions League, but you can look at them and say this team is not going anywhere.
Can I say something though?
Sure.
Can I say something though? Can you list how many people can you list that realistically, long term, that process actually worked out?
City.
Okay, Pep, one of the greatest coaches in the world. Wait. City, Pep, one of the greatest coaches in the world. Okay, yeah.
Liverpool.
Yeah, Klopp, one of the greatest coaches in the world right now. Okay.
Ferguson, it happened for him eventually.
What?
No, but eventually. So this.
Do you get where I'm going with this?
Okay, so let's
saying.
wait.
Okay, go on.
Wait. So yes, you are requiring your manager to be very good, but can you win anything if your manager is not good? Like, can
yes,
your
as
process,
we just proved.
No,
yes.
Can your process be sustainable long term if your manager is not good? No.
But that's my point, though. That's my point. Realistically, my point is realistically speaking, it is rare to find managers who are so good that you can trust the process for a long period. That's rare. That's why I asked you to list, and you just listed the greatest managers in the world.
Okay, what about Moyes with West Ham? It worked out for them. He's been their manager for many years. If you want to even go lower, like I'm sure you can find around.
Wait, do you talk to any West Ham fan or do you watch West Ham?
No, yes, this season. No, obviously I don't talk to any West Ham fans. They don't have fans outside of the internet. But like in reality, he just won them a European title before Arsenal won something.
Yes,
and also they were still complaining. Without that European title, they wanted him gone.
Yes, they weren't playing well enough. Their process wasn't. You know what I mean?
I think you're making my point. I think you're making my point in the sense that, like, at the end of the day, at some point, looking your ways to things is not enough. Wenger won like 2 or 3 FA Cups in a row before he left, and people wanted him gone because it wasn't enough.
But no, hold on, Elusa. But that I feel like you're crossing over to my point now. That's my point. I thought your point is. It's not worth. I thought this is what I think your point is, and correct me if I'm wrong.
My point is don't sacrifice your future for a title.
Yes, but that I think that's what you're saying. You're saying it's not worth winning all these fluky things. You rather have the process because the process will make you win at the end. That's your point. Right? My point, on the other hand, is I feel like it's rare to find that manager who will take you all the way with that process. It's more common to fluke your way to these wins.
I thought of a better example. See Chelsea before the third Burnley guy came and destroyed them.
Okay.
They changed their manager multiple times.
Yes, and they won multiple times.
Yes. What was their process? Buy all the best players that we can find that other people want to sign, and just win. That was their process. Process doesn't have to be beautiful football like the way I like it. We want to do Madrid's process. It doesn't matter who their manager is. Yes, they're the biggest team in Spain, but they buy all the best talented players that they can find and put them on the pitch at once and win. Process is not the same everywhere. But they have something that they are doing consistently, season to season, and eventually it means they win. It doesn't matter that your best manager is Pep or anything. Consistently, season to season, they do something to get to that goal. United don't have that. Smaller teams in the league don't have that. And if you want to be celebrating Carabao Cup because small teams are celebrating, then sure. If you're in a final, might as well win it. I don't care. Have fun. Next season, I'll see you in 8th. Like there's no problem here. Last year I told you guys to do the same thing this year, and you didn't believe me. And here you are again. Nothing has actually changed.
But like I said, and I agree with what Edosa is saying because again. Context matters. If I use another sport as an analogy, right? If at the end of the season, LeBron and the Lakers say they're in-season tournaments champions, and that's the trophy that they won, who is going to say they had a better season than the team that lost in the NBA Finals? Like nobody on this. In this world is going to say winning the in-season tournament is a greater achievement than making the NBA finals.
I think you should. I think you should change. I think if you change that statement a little bit to the people who lost the conference finals, because people who go to the NBA finals, they won the conference finals, right? They won their conference.
Okay.
So if you change it to the people who lost the conference finals, I can bet you there are people who will think that. I can bet you there are people who will think that.
Only LeBron fans will say winning.
That's exactly what people will say that. Like I have my trophy, you don't have your trophy.
Relax, bro.
Damn it.
No, I think NBA is a bad example because the sense is that NBA there is no process. Is you have an opportunity to win, you maximize that opportunity and you're fit for the next 20 years. Then you then you draft another player and you are able to like build another team. Then you win within 5-6 years. Then you are bad for another year. And that's why if you see, there's no team that is always currently on top. It's always high, low, high, low, high, low, high, low. The NBA is a bad example
Yeah,
in that
so
sense.
I don't want us to talk too much about NBA. I'll just give an analogy because of a couple of things. The Lakers at the start of the season, they had expectations to win the main title. That's to go all the way. That's one. Two, they are one of the biggest franchises in the world. Right? So we're talking. So that would be the same as like a top 6 team in the Premier League, right? And then at the end of the season, you are saying, "Oh, we won Carabao Cup, so we had a great season." When people had a much better season than you, that's my whole point. But
do you know the funny thing?
They are different sports, but I was just using that as an analogy because that just came to my mind.
I actually appreciate you mentioning that because now after you finish, I'm happy to see them in that Carabao Cup. Because people will have been using that, the brain dead people will have used that to justify Poch staying. I don't know.
Before you go any further, I can't defend Poch in that game. I can't defend him, but I have to say they should have still scammed that game. The chances they had, Poch should have won that. Like he's cursed. Like that's just cursed.
Yo,
Like,
you can take the man out of Tottenham, but
look at Kane and Bayern now. Like, man,
you remember beginning of the season, a month into the season, when I was saying this, that his tactical and his team setup just doesn't make sense. You guys thought I was
wait, is it possible? Sorry, I just have a question. Is it possible that the players are just shit?
No. See,
let's not go into that.
No. But here's the thing, right? Players are shit. Have you watching Wobby? When you watch you, you're like, yeah, this dude is not the great thing. You can see how bad.
Ask Onana about that. Though.
Yeah, I mean,
when players are bad,
man's like,
where were they at AFCON?
Who was your star midfielder at AFCON, bro? If they should just play a little bit, then.
The same guy that people were saying they should stop cyber bullying him. Yeah, that guy. Sure.
Go on, Skip.
I'm just saying, like, I don't think Chelsea players are not top 5 good or top 6 good, but the setup, I was watching, is it Moneyball or this bar about this game about like baseball where the team was created and the coach refused to play a team in the manner it was created, and he wants to play his own way, not the way the team was set up. So when you have and this is why I always give Arteta credit. When Arteta came into Arsenal, he was trying to do, and they were like, nah, this is not working. He went and played the way it fit that current team at that point, and they went from 16, 18, they went up the table. But Poch keeps saying this thing that he has to
injuries. People who came back from injuries helped too. You guys have to put
whatever
like,
Chelsea to about injuries. People have come back and there's no improvement. So please, whatever she wants to.
No, because you gotta put all that, man.
But I'm just saying, you play a team, you put a team out. When you look at your 22-man squad or how many teams you have, you play to the best of their ability to win. Then 4-5 years later, when you are building your team, you keep changing, and there are some managers that don't change as the team is changing, and they are stuck first.
That's what I was gonna hook on that. Like, how many managers stay for 4 years?
And that's why when you look at the best managers, they've looked at the team and they've been able to play, adjust their tactics every year, and you just see some dumb-ass managers that the way they played last year, even they've changed like 6-4 players. They say, oh, this is how we're going again, and they don't adapt. And this is why when people are knocking at them, I'm like, oh, we've gone a little bit defensive, we are not running forward, but I'm like, he's adapting to the new team, which you can't bash him for, but he's adapting his tactics to the new team. But Poch, again, I'm sorry I took this over for him. But Poch is not doing that. So, there's a part where he was playing Kowe as left back. There was a time he was playing We don't have midfield. Enzo was playing at the belt. Casedo was playing at 8. We have nobody in the midfield. There was a time that he was playing Chilwell at the left wing.
I thought you were just complaining that he doesn't change. The guy is changing it now. You don't. This was happening before. He's not doing that anymore. He's not doing that anymore.
How many subs did he make?
Let's not take this to a Chelsea situation. Let's go back. Let's go back to the topic at hand. And and that's what I like to like, and that's the difference between me and you guys is I look at things holistically.
I don't
average. I do, because when I asked you to name the managers who can do that stuff, you would say mentioning goats. How many managers can sustain? Will be given the chance to be like, hey, I'm playing well. Give me time to make this progression, to make this team good enough to win one trophy. Meanwhile, while he's doing that, other managers that are much less or less better than him are fumbling to trophies. Nobody's going to have that patience for you within the span of 3 years.
Wait, so I need to ask a question. Are we talking about the teams at the top of the table now, or teams at the bottom, like towards the back of the table? Because expectations are completely different. You asked who won something, so I gave you who won something. And yes, turns out that if you have the biggest team in the league and all the money in the league and all the rest on your side, you can win something. Shocker.
I'm not talking about Man Cities and them. I'm talking about who? I'm talking about teams like Man U versus teams like Arsenal versus teams like
Chelsea.
When
Man U were winning, they had the richest team in the league.
I'm not talking about then. I'm talking about recent history.
And that's why you haven't won shit recently.
What are you talking about?
Because the last thing you won
was the most expensive
team ever.
Were they the best?
Ever. No, because they're shit. No, but that's not the point.
Thank you.
The money. But even to win it, you still had to put together the second most expensive worst team we've seen in England, because Chelsea is still there. And you guys are just slightly better than them. So if you have enough money, you can fluke your way to anything. On a one-game basis, you can fluke your way to anything. Everybody knows this. That's why Arteta could win the FA Cup when he won it. He just decided, I'm not losing. And then we scored goals contra Aubameyang, and he has the FA Cup on his resume. Doesn't mean that we're good. The next season became 8th.
Nobody's saying you're good. Nobody's saying you're good if you're shit and you're winning cups. That's not the question here.
Yes,
the question is,
so let me ask you a question.
Okay.
Did the Arsenal team that won the FA Cup, is it better than the Arsenal team that came second last season?
No.
What are we saying? You know the answer to the question.
But that's not the question I'm asking. I'm not asking which team is better. I'm not. That's never the question I'm asking.
Did the Arsenal team that won the FA Cup and then finished 8th that season, is it better, or did it have a better season than the Arsenal team that came second last season?
The Arsenal team that came second last season had a better season because you've had the same manager. You've had the same manager go through that process.
Even if you flip the manager to somebody else.
And remember, my caveat, hold on. My caveat to this is, you coming second, you're in Champions League this season. To me, if you don't win the Champions League this season, what was the point of coming second last season? That shit Arsenal team won the trophy. You guys didn't. You played sexy football. You balled. You're a better team. I won the trophy. I have my medal. Where's your medal? How many medals do they give out for playing well? How many medals do they give out for playing well? That's my point. My point is like,
no.
It's not about how many people win Champions League every year, because you guys' point is you're coming second, you're entering Champions League. What's the point of entering Champions League when you're not winning?
That's not the point.
So what's the point?
At all. Second means that the next season you can go again, and then you can go again, and you can until you win.
And you keep going again, and you're not winning anything. You're not winning anything. But
okay, so even if you're not winning anything, that is when we usually make a change.
But
even then, it's not about the manager, it's about the club. The club itself is still do you know what it means to come second every single season in a league like in the English Premier League, where there are like 5 or 6 teams that genuinely have the money to outspend you at any given point in time.
But now you're shifting.
It's hard.
No, it's hard. No one is saying it's easy. It's easier to win a random knockout game. it's easier to do that.
So if you know
It's easier
that,
to do that. Yeah.
if you know that, you know that.
From a fan's perspective, what matters more? Because you're going into the financial from a team's perspective.
I have never mentioned money. It's actually funny that the person that mentioned money on this podcast is a Chelsea fan.
From the club's perspective, the prestige of coming second, the financial implications, all that good stuff.
I have not mentioned prestige. I just said the position. The ability to consistently finish in that position means that eventually you will get it right. And that's exactly what happened to Liverpool. The one season City slipped up, Liverpool won it with like 17 games to spare. Ridiculous, because that's the standard they were competing with. So if you can just be close enough. No, bro. No, see, let me not lie to you. I'm happy to call it fraudulent title, but if you go and look at the stats, after the restart, if they drew or lost every single game, they would have still won the league, bro.
They would have still won.
That is insane. Forget all this centurion nonsense we're always talking about. That is actually legacy defining stuff right there. Right? So you cannot tell me that team did not remember, oh, we lost by one point. The one time City dropped 3 points, boom, they are gone.
They are gone.
So you're telling me that if Arsenal keep staying close, you're staying close, you think they will not win the league eventually? When staying close means that they are still far better than Chelsea, City, Tottenham. I mean, Chelsea, United, Tottenham. Those are not the problem. So you want to be as close to them as possible so that the one season they are off, you can do something. That's all it takes. Oh, you want some random knockout competition? Great, celebrate. I'm never going to tell you to not celebrate anything. In fact, if you win a match today, go and dance on someone's grave for all I care. I don't care. But to win something that requires 38 games or playing the best teams in the world, you need to have good processes to actually overcome them. Because those teams actually have the money to do you too. There is no way that if Man U were in the Champions League, there's any hope of them getting to the final or even winning the final. Why? Because their team itself is not good.
When you say the team, do you mean like the players or the manager?
Your team, manager's first team, get your first team bench, go and get back Fergie. I don't care. That team not doing anything this season.
Oh, go get back Fergie means that if the players are bad, no matter who is the coach.
No, go and get the coach back.
No, get the coach back, right? But the same shit players. No difference, right? So the players are the problem.
You want to start?
No, I'm asking. I'm just asking.
No,
you just say get Fergie back. Same team, nothing will happen. I feel like I'm hearing the players are the problem here. Dummy, I feel like that's...
Bro, look, I sent you a start today. You've allowed as many shots as Luton this season, consistently in many games. Who is the person setting up your team?
Who do you want him to? Who do you want him to put on the pitch?
The
players are bad, bro.
He has spent as much money as Arteta.
Yeah.
Just a little bit less. With a team that's already the most expensive team in the league. Come on, at some point, you have to be honest with yourself and just recognize this guy has a problem. You have to just be honest. I love agenda. You want someone to be with you, I'm down with you, but let's be honest for 2 minutes. Ten Hag has a problem. You can give Ten Hag $2 billion and I'm not even moved. It will still be a shit team. So you cannot tell me, because he fluked FA Cup here and there and he fluked that, no, you're not. Your team is going to finish 8th every single season. So who cares if he finishes and wins Carabao or FA Cup at some point?
Our team is not finishing 8th every season. Relax. I'm 100%.
Oh, you think you're going to... You finish more than 8 this season?
We're not finishing more than 8 this season because of the injuries.
You are finishing second half of the table.
Because of the injuries. Because of the injuries.
Bro,
because of the injuries we had in the beginning.
List the number of players that are injured in your team. Can't compare to players that are injured in other people's team. The quality of
it is not even close. Relax. Let's not even
quality.
It's not even close. It's not even close.
Who else is injured? Ericsson that's already dead. Who else? Please tell me.
Are you talking about right now or throughout the course of the season? Relax, man.
Course.
Because
now.
What is this guy talking about?
I'm saying
Shaw,
players.
Casemiro, both our left backs are done. We're playing our centre back as a left back. Our best centre back is done. Casemiro was out for throughout most of the season. Our striker is done. Like, what is this guy talking about? Saying we don't have any. Relax, man. Relax with that. Relax with that. Come on, relax with that, man. Like, stop it. We're playing a centre back at left back, and you're comparing our injuries to everybody else's.
What is Arsenal doing? Are they not playing a centre back at left back?
Who?
Have we not Jorginho with replacement hip in our midfield?
Who are you playing as centre back at left
Kivio.
back? Isn't Kivio a left back?
No, he's not. He's not a centre back that's a right back.
Okay, now we're calling Ben White a centre back.
Is he not a centre back?
Did Arteta transform him into a right back? Or now we're saying that he's a centre. We're saying that he's a centre back now.
Why did you start playing him at right back? Well, not because the first choice got injured.
Who was your first choice before he came?
Tomiyasu.
So when
He's always injured. Cannot get on the field because he's always injured.
When Tomiyasu came back, what position does Ben White play?
He doesn't play, but then Tomiyasu never comes back.
You can't say this guy's a centre back when your starting centre back right back comes, he still plays there. That doesn't make any sense. If Shaw is around, Lindelof is not playing in left back. What are you talking about, man?
No, the question you asked was when Tomiyasu comes back, where does Ben White play?
You told me that Tomiyasu is your right back.
Yes.
Right? When Tomiyasu comes back, where does Ben White play? He benches Ben White?
He's not better than Saliba or sorry, Ben White is not better than Saliba or Gabriel. That is 1. 2, Tomiyasu never comes back. He never comes back. So we don't have that conversation at all. So you guys can shout, injury.
I want to end this argument now with my understanding is that you're feeling that your team is on the back heel because your starting right back is Tomiyasu and he's never around. And you're comparing that to us having our left back gone to playing Lindelof there. You think it's the same kind of collateral damage?
I don't know. Is Lindelof not a 60 million player that you bought that could play centre back and left back when you bought him?
Our right-sided centre back playing left back. You think because he's worth 60 million or we paid 60 million, however we paid for him? When
we were playing a left-sided centre back on the right because we couldn't play holding, where was your tears for Arsenal last week? It wasn't there. So
I mentioned it.
No, you never did.
I did. I said you guys lost the title because this guy Saliba got injured.
Fine. It doesn't matter.
That was it.
It doesn't matter. In the grand scheme of things, you cannot spend the amount of money, buy all your first choice, and then cry. No, because it matters. If you don't,
it doesn't matter.
Didn't Chelsea literally sign like Hazard, all because they won Champions League?
What do you mean?
Literally said.
What are you talking about?
No, Chelsea. When they signed Hazard, because they won Champions League. That was it. Money. The money matters. You cannot separate it from the sport.
But we didn't sign Hazard because of the money.
Brother, come on now. We don't know if we were to investigate that transaction or money that you guys did not report to sign that player.
So like now you're misinterpreting what Hazard said. What Hazard said was that he was looking at other teams he was going to choose.
Yeah.
But immediately Chelsea won the Champions League. That Chelsea offer was either we're winning the Champions League. The offer was on the table with other offers. Immediately we won the Champions League and he saw how we wanted that the player. He was like, oh yeah, I want to join them. No money, other things. You misinterpreted it as if though they came last minute, they offered it.
That's not what I said. That's not what I said.
He said money, but it wasn't money. It was because you won the Champions League, and that's why you wanted to join.
Brody, look, see, let's be honest here. It's the same space. It's Roman. Do you really think Roman went there with the same similar offer that everybody was offering? No, we know that's not how he operates. So there's no need for us to lie or twist things or cover it. And it's fine. You send your player, you guys have beautiful years together. That's great.
You're telling me, okay, but if you're telling me this in regards to any other players, I would say yes. Hazard that got offered.
Hazard, the Arsenal fan.
No. Hazard that got offered. Hazard that got offered 5.5 billion in Saudi and he turned it down. He's the one that joined because of money. Hazard that was born with a silver spoon. No. Hazard that was born with a silver spoon.
I don't care about this
joined because of money. Because Hazard, again, if it's a guy that was, if you tell me Oscar, one of those players that was not rich, their parents were rich, you can make an argument.
What's the Oscar?
But money is different to like. Okay, I'm sorry. Oscar is just.
Man,
I'm sorry.
Oscar's childhood club
about
was whatever the name of the China team is in. First dream came true. Why are you calling the bro?
All I'm just saying is that like you can throw any other example to me, and I'll probably not argue. But I would say Hazard is a bad example. Throw any other example to me, I'll be like, oh, probably.
I don't know why you carried it to where you carried it to. My point is that if Chelsea did not win the Champions League and the additional financial incentive that Champions League gives you, would they have been able to sign Hazard? No.
I think he went there because of the winning of the Champions League rather than the actual money.
No, but like I said, they are linked. They are supposed to be linked. Because how much did you buy him for?
They bought him for like 32 or 35. Go look at it.
Okay, how much did you pay him that year?
I don't know how much they paid that year. I don't. You mean his wages?
Yeah.
His wages were around 150. It was when the second contract. That was
back then. No. But that was money back then. That was consistently higher than what other teams were paying their best players.
Wait.
When you signed Hazard.
Immediately Hazard entered, he became our best player straight away. He became our best player. I think you misunderstand what I'm saying. No, you misunderstand what I'm saying.
It's not about whether he's your best player. It's that how were you able to afford the players that you were paying for? Legally, not let's forget the Roman angle. Legally, how would you have been able to afford those players? It's by winning things to get more money to sign the player. You understand that for you it's not attack because Roman. I get it. Under normal circumstances, teams have to win things to have more money, to get more sponsorship deals to sign players.
But you're talking as if FFP was around during then. FFP was there.
There's always been some kind of attachment between the kind of money that you have. Because it happened to Arsenal now. I'm just saying.
But here's the thing. There wasn't a strict FFP when it comes to money spent and all that. Go check, go reset.
I agree.
Go reset.
I agree. But no, I'm saying it matters. Let me tell you why it matters. Because at the same time, Arsenal were repaying.
Because they own money for stadium. That's the reason. It's not because of FFP.
Money for stadium.
No, wait. Sorry, I'm about to end this. Wait. If Arsenal were winning while they were owning money for stadium, do you think they would not have had money? They would have had money because they give you money for winning something. They don't win anything.
So basically people that don't own money for stadium and they want something, so they should go pay for the stadium they don't own.
Now you're making my point.
No.
The point is that if your team has the ability to sign a player because you have money, under normal circumstances, you get that money from winning stuff, right? And you're more under normal circumstances.
No, wait. I'm gonna bring Damian a minute to end this now. But as I said earlier in this recording, I don't know whether coincidentally it's because only big teams win Champions League.
Yes.
But I've never in my life heard a team, even by rumor, that this team was able to sign this player because of the financial money they got from Champions League. I've never heard that before. I've never heard that before. I've seen players go because of the prestige of it, but I've never seen hey, if not for this Champions League money, we wouldn't have been able to afford this guy. I've never seen that ever. I've never.
You remember just that they always tend to be linked to selling a big player, but
I've never heard.
If you go and look at things like Tottenham and when they sign players, like when they actually sign players, it's because they're in Champions League. So not even winning gives you the ability to buy a player in Champions League. Like someone out to play in Champions League, or because you can bank on that money.
That's how they built their stadium now.
So I mean, they also but
they got to the finals. They got to the finals and got 100 million or something like that. That's how they built their stadium.
But so that's the point. If they were able to sustain that, Arsenal would not have caught up with them. Even with Arteta, they couldn't sustain it. So that one-off doesn't matter. So that's why one-offs is not a good thing in sport, especially football. Anyway, you want to be consistently making progress. All the best teams all the best teams in the league, in any league, consistently season to season do something. Go and look at Bayern Leverkusen last season. They were not a bad team. Bayern dropped just one notch, boom, past them, because they were coming. So you want to be arriving. This whole year, so I want FA Cup here, despite the fact that I came eighth.
But that's my point though.
What's the point?
I feel like my point is the growth, the time you use to grow before you arrive. Other teams are winning multiple cups before you get that your one holy
Okay,
grail.
so in
Because
Germany,
if you look at Man U, for instance, now, what did we win last season, Carabao? Under Ole, we didn't win anything. Under Mourinho, we won 3. Under who did we have before Mourinho? Van Gaal, we won 1. Under the previous one, 2, we won 1. Like, we're winning, even though we're shit. We've been winning something as we're stumbling.
let me ask you, how many
Arsenal
people
going
remember?
towards. Remember what?
How many people remember any of these things that you won that are not Man U fans? Because me, I'm an Arsenal fan and I cannot tell you what year we won FA Cups. Because they're not, yes, it's great. I celebrate in the moment. But then that's not really what I want. I want a team that when I see, oh, we're playing Man City on Saturday, I'm like, okay, no, let's go. We're not there yet, but we're getting there. That's my own. That's what me I'm looking at. Because I cannot tell you when we won FA Cup. I cannot tell you who was on the field. I cannot tell you who scored. And I watched all those games. Because one-offs don't really matter. But I can say put this team against any Arsenal team the last 20 years, they'll watch those niggas. Easy. Why? Because they've had a process to get to where they are.
But that's not. But now we're talking about hypotheticals versus actual silverware. My question is it worth it? Is it worth it to have such a good team right now to be like, yo, we'll wash any other for the past 20 years? That good team that we're talking about has not won anything yet, too.
Yes.
But the previous teams have won something and stumbled.
Yes. Let me give you a simple reason why. Next year, there's a situation where Arsenal might need to sign a striker. And they can go and drop 100 million on a striker because they know the rest of the team is solid.
Okay.
And nobody will say anything. And that means they're more likely to compete for something next year. But if Chelsea drop 200 million on a striker, you ask them, what are you guys doing? Because they've not done anything to warrant that sacrifice of their future. If United should drop 200 million on a midfielder or a striker now, be like, what are you doing? Yes, it's a great player you're buying, but you've not done anything to sacrifice your future this year. Right? So the better, the more consistent you are moving towards the target. At some point, the day of reckoning will come. Like, okay, you've been doing, you have to win something now. And then you can sacrifice your future to win something short term. That day will come. But for vast majority of the teams in the league, they never get there. And that's because
that's what I'm getting
the
at.
biggest teams, every single thing that is won that actually matters is won by the biggest teams in the world, full stop. And since most teams will never be the biggest team in the world, what are you supposed to do? How do you compete with City when they know they are cheating actively? How would you have competed with Chelsea when they were actively cheating? How would you have competed with Man U when they were actively cheating?
Hey, relax. We didn't cheat.
No, but it's true.
We didn't cheat.
Okay, if you say so. But like,
we didn't cheat. These other guys did, but we didn't. Even Everton out here cheating. But it's okay. Dammy, is it worth it?
I personally say it's worth it because
you have
Liverpool, all the money that we wasted before on Andy Carroll and all the other guys hoping for it was all for a title, and it didn't pan out. It wasn't what they had. Despite the Champions League in between, I think it was still a desperation for I'm pretty Gerrard still regrets by all means missing out on the title by a few years. I'm sure. So, yeah, I'd say it's worth it going for broke. But only, I guess, only if there was some kind of way to guarantee.
Exactly. There's no way to guarantee. That's my point. There's no way to guarantee it. Because while you're doing all
But
this,
that's the
it's
point,
a
I
huge
guess.
risk you're taking.
That's the
But
point
other
of it.
teams are stumbling to the small clubs you don't respect.
Yeah, wait. Oh, sorry.
But
I know
Gerard,
that. How many?
Gerard
How,
was talking about the
Premier League.
League title.
Yeah, he won the
He wasn't
Champions
talking
League,
about Carabao or
Yeah, but that's what I'm saying.
How
He
many-
won all of those.
how
He's
many
saying he
small
regrets not
teams?
winning that.
Yeah.
how many small teams stumble
Right.
to anything? How many
Greece.
teams can you genuinely
Four.
look at and be like,
I feel like I
Greece
can
or
name I can name the same number of small teams that stumble to things. You could equally arguably say it's the same number of successful managers that you give that time to process to get the Holy Grail.
Like,
Some
can we make
Greece
an-
04 to Leicester to all these
Can we
random
make-
small teams. You can
can
say
we make
okay,
an argument that even
Yeah.
Madrid stumbled through one or two of their three feats?
yeah, easily.
In the
Easily.
league, they were clearly not.
They were not doing anything.
sure?
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
even that, consistently, they bought the best young talent they could get to add to Ronaldo because that is their process.
True.
I mean,
I don't think all titles are made equal. When we're talking about like the Champions League and the Premier League, those are prestigious titles that I can agree. Do whatever you can to win those titles. I think there's a better chance of you still having time to recover from whatever sacrifices you made to win those titles than say a Carabao or an FA Cup. I think big picture, teams that win like the Premier League or the Champions League, they have a platform to build on that the following season, both financially as well as with players that they can attract because players want to play in the Champions League. And in terms of like the stability
That's how we
of,
attracted Sancho.
of the club.
No,
Exactly.
like how did that work out? How did that work out for Leicester City? They won
Simple.
the league. They won the league, and literally that summer, Chelsea picked one player. They picked up Mahrez. They picked up all their players after winning the league. Because if you fluke to something,
But I would say Leicester is more of an exception, not a rule, because
but they
were
fluked to it.
a small team that won a title. Like Kante and all these bros, they have no reason to stay there collecting 75k per week when they can go to Chelsea and triple their salary.
You know
and all
what
that.
I'm
Like,
saying,
doesn't-
Skip?
it doesn't make
So
sense.
we're going back to the sustained success at some point allows you to buy whatever you want. So fine, I'm glad we all agree. Because all those players,
What I'm saying,
He allows you to buy whoever you
going
want. No
back
one
to
said you
what
didn't
I'm
allow you to
saying,
buy anything.
context matters. Like Leicester winning the league is not the same as Arsenal winning the league or Man U winning the league or Chelsea winning the league. Like they're just in a different place. So they are
Okay.
not in a place where they can maintain excuse me, maintain that moving forward like bigger teams would in that situation.
okay. So I just want to be clear. Did they win the thing with a good process, or did they fluke their way to the league that year?
Oh, they
But they were
definitely.
still-
I mean, that was a
But
great season.
but
Anyway.
in reality, they were the best team that season, right?
Yeah, but
So
they were the best team because all the other teams were bad, right? They were
they were
de
the
facto
best team that season. That
Yeah.
season, right? They're the
Yeah,
only
but
ones
how
that
many
showed up.
points did they win the league by, right?
They lost only 3 games. I don't know how many
but
draws they
that
had.
goes back to the invincible thing. You don't lose.
That's
you only draw games. You don't lose any games. Like your
I
point tally is your point tally at the end of the day, right?
I agree. All I'm saying, sorry, Skip. All I'm saying is that if you are fluking your way to things, long term, no one's going to remember anything that you did. Those guys are in championship right now. Yeah, we remember the league. Like, oh yeah, remember that time those tiny teams won. Oh yeah, who remembers the players on those teams? We only know the ones that turned out to be great at other teams that were actually they were sustained in their building. Anybody that didn't go to those teams, even the ones that went to those teams, like Drinkwater that went to Chelsea, no one thinks about him.
I think it's unfair to say nobody remembers it. I think it's
The
unfair.
team, we remember the team, we don't remember the players inside. Apart from the
Also-
one that went on to win somewhere else.
Bro, remember the players inside. Come on, stop being
Who?
unfair.
Who was their centre back pairing?
The centre back's playing was Hoof
Weston.
and Weston Morgan. The captain was
Morgan.
Morgan and Hoof.
Okay, what else did they do with their life after that?
But we remember, guy. Wait, that's my point. You remember the
No,
thing.
okay, no, but this is my point. Kante.
Kante and Mahrez.
Kine,
and
what's the
Vardy.
Kante and Mahrez.
Asian dude? Kine, what's it? Didn't they have an
I remember
Asian
the
dude?
Yeah, their people was Schmeichel.
Schmeichel, yeah.
Schlop was their left back.
All of
Chilwell was
those-
there.
all of those
Demari
guys.
Gray was there. We remember
Their success is not measured by Leicester City. Even the great guy you mentioned, it's Everton that when you think about things in your head. It's not Leicester. This is how bad it is. People think Maguire won the Premier League with them.
Nah, people who do that don't know football.
People
Don't know
no,
football.
people think
Nah,
because he came so close after they won that they just assumed he was there.
nah.
That's why I'm saying that nobody even remembers the players specific.
Man
But
was in Hull
if I
City.
tell you name players, that won the league at Chelsea, you can name their bench goals when the second left back is injured, the one that came on for him. Because at a bigger team, they have a more sustained process. They might not always win everything, but a sustained process means that they are relevant in your mind even when they are bad.
All right.
So
I feel
every team.
we have to end this because it's gone too long. I don't agree with that because that will take us into another tangent now. William, close it. So is it worth it?
For me, I'm kind of torn. I won't tell you to sell your future in order to win the trophy now, and I won't tell you to be saying we're building for 20 years without winning anything. And that's crazy. So, I'm going to use a those analogy about is it the journey or the destination? The journey can be good, and if you get to the wrong destination, all that journey is nothing. And you might get to the destination, and they'll be asking you. Remember when we go to school, when we're small, and we walk to school, and when you get to school in the morning, your leg is already dusty and all of that, and everybody's looking at you. You go here, but look how you look, and like the journey you took, and all of that. You look back and so. I'm not sure what the answer is, but wherever you do, whatever works, there's only all these people that think they're like they're philosophers that will tell you, oh, this is what you should do. There is no right answers. As far as you do it,
Right
and you get there, it's all okay. Because no guarantee. If it be like, oh yeah, and this is, again, I'm an example about Lakers. You can win today, and basically forget about your future. Be like, oh, I'm going on the process, and you're never going to win. You don't know. Nobody's guaranteed that.
You don't.
So if both of them end it, then people are still going to criticize it. So if you have a chance to do it, just do it the way you do it and hope for the best. So I don't have an answer like, oh, this is why you did it. I just look at it like there's no right or wrong way. Except if you believe it, you know, so far be like, oh yeah, hey, knock yourself out. Yeah. So that's it.
Bring us on, Aminu.
I'm just going to repeat what I said because when I listen to the different points that everybody is making, like, to me, that just tells me that the context matters. Like, the answer will be different for different teams in different periods of their history. You know, Chelsea right now winning Carabao doesn't
Grab
do
it with 2
anything
hands.
for they'll grab with 2 hands because of
grab it with 2 hands. No me.
right. But Liverpool winning the Carabao, it doesn't really do anything for their season because they have bigger fish to fry. So for me, it's, again, context matters and it varies depending on who you ask and when you ask them.
I feel like if your team is not doing well, bro, you grab those trophies with 2 hands because you don't know when you're not going to be there again, man.
So the context is you're not doing well, right?
Yeah, you're not doing well, right? You're not doing well. You're not doing well, but I feel like the counterpoint is, and I feel like Adosa's counterpoint is you rather not win the trophy and focus on doing well and taking that risk of possibly winning later.
See, if Emery won that Europa Cup against Chelsea, Arsenal would be like 17th right now. That guy was like, he might end up being good for Aston Villa.
Have you seen Villa?
No, I'm saying he might end up being good. He might be good for Villa, but Arsenal, the guy had lost his way completely. Arsene Wenger left 3 seasons late. Why? Because he won FA Cup. So it delays something that needed to happen. See, I'm sure there is a context where winning something, just anything, sparks something. But if you look at every team that has done that, they were already on the process. Wasn't it Carling Cup that was this guy's first trophy? Not Carling. Yeah, it was Carling Cup then, right? Why am I calling Ten Hag? The other bald guy, Pep. The other bald guy, Pep. Pep's first title was the Carabao Cup.
Yes, right.
And
he beats Liverpool, right?
And every season he targets that cup for one reason, because it sparks them on their process. That's when you now start seeing them, they're actually not getting ready for the season, start winning 18 in a row. But that is part of their process. But for teams that are not them, with all the money and all the players, you kind of want to be good enough that whenever anybody slip up, you are there to take it. And then sure, we might smash and grab. Like last year, Arsenal should have mortgaged this season to try and win the league. Because they were already good. They needed to make a sacrifice. They didn't make that sacrifice. It didn't work out, but look at the bought Rice with that money now. Could have bought Modric instead. Right? Next year, because we didn't spend money this winter, we'll have maybe 100 million to go and get a proper striker that fits the team and a midfielder to join. Are you going to tell me that because they waited one extra season, they wouldn't be as good as, if not better than, Liverpool next season, or especially now that club is going? The process, because Liverpool has to restart their process. Nobody knows what they're getting. Pep can wake up tomorrow and say he's going. Who's going to win the league in that situation? Everybody's by getting new manager. All because you maintain. No, I wish I could see first.
Eric Ten Hag. Yo, we gotta wrap up.
Nah, anyway, Sean, you guys can win your one-off trophies. All the best to you, but that's not my problem right now.
I think the big picture, the clubs see the value in winning these one-off trophies, and that's why they keep these managers.
Big picture.
Sometimes it works out, sometimes it doesn't. And now this is where we'll fundamentally disagree. I feel like Arteta would have been fired if he didn't win the FA Cup. I really do.
When?
Remember? What do you mean when? When he was playing bad enough that all the Arsenal fans were rioting and saying Arteta out. You're one of the few that didn't say it, but the majority was Arteta out. Did you watch the All or Nothing documentary? What's allegedly?
No, wait, listen.
What's allegedly?
Now, listen. Allegedly, the club owners were never thinking about firing him.
Because he had won the FA Cup. That's my point. I'm saying if he hadn't won the FA Cup, he's coming eighth. Wait now, he's coming eighth. He's fighting with your top striker, Aubameyang. Guy, get out of here. What have you want to be warranting this?
But so that's the thing. Okay, maybe when you guys get the former player as a manager, you understand.
We do.
Aubameyang. But we only even had more leeway with doing stuff. That's why not necessarily winning anything.
Yeah.
But anyway, it doesn't matter. You guys should enjoy your one-offs. I'll see you in 3 years. Let's count trophies.
All right, cool. If you're going to count trophies in 3 years, you have to know when to start counting the trophies from 3 years.
I don't care. Start wherever I want to start.
Cool. All right, thank you guys. This has been a long one. Thank you guys for recording. Thank you guys for being here. Thank you guys for listening. As always, continue to love football, like, follow, and share on Instagram and YouTube. Bye.